contact one of us. Go to www.northstar-reg.com. We're going to put that link in the description as well, because real estate is not a one-size-fits-all type of issue at all, and anybody that tells you they know everything and they can guarantee you that is just, I would take that with a grain of salt.
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest small town in the USA, the people in it, and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reiss and Mark Benzer.
All right, hey everybody,
Hey,
welcome to another episode of the Buffalo Community Podcast. We got with us a whole bunch of familiar faces here, but they have some news they want to share and some updates, and maybe we'll get a chance to get to know them a little better. So I'll introduce to you the Northstar Real Estate team. Tyler, tell us a little bit about it.
The Northstar Real Estate Group. With Edina Realty. The reason I roll my eyes on that is because with this brand change, we're still with Edina Realty, is everybody's screwing it up of Northstar Team, it's Northstar Real Estate Group. So I owe you a punch in the arm for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But anyway, we've got Jeremy Welter, Tom Olson, and Eric Olson with us. Really great to have you guys in. Let's
party.
Classic Eric right there. Well, yeah, let's just talk about it. Jeremy, how long you've been selling real estate? And
so let's see here. When did I start? I think I officially started December of 2020. So just about a year and a half, effectively. It's been a whirlwind. It's been fun. I remember a conversation I had with Tyler back in 2018, summer, give or take. And he was poking and prodding, telling me to get in this wild game, and I denied him foolishly. So, I'm a slow learner, but eventually I get there. 2 years later, here I am. So, yeah. That's kind of...
Background in commercial construction?
Kind of everything. So, sales, commercial construction, most recently, and dental sales, physical fitness. I've always had an interest in sales and helping people. So you learn a little bit through each of the experiences, and I've landed here and I love it.
So you like to talk to people?
I'm not afraid to talk to people. I'm one of the rare ones.
I haven't figured that one out.
Talking's my favorite.
Yeah. I thought you were going to take the next one.
Oh, no.
You were getting ready.
We just go around the table, I suppose, huh? Eric,
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got here?
Background be about, let's see, we're at 3.5 years now since I've started. So in real estate now 3.5 years. Before that, I worked for a commercial lighting company. Loved that job. Got to travel all around the country. But that didn't work well with a young family. So decided to make the change, hop on in, and I liked the way that one of the other agents said it when I started. He said, "Oh, you saw that Tyler could do it, so you figured you could just do it as well." So, yeah, and so that was the reason I got in. No, just kidding.
Who was that?
That was Brad Williams.
That's awesome. Oh, Brad, what a jerk. Next up, we got Tom.
Hello. Am I close enough here? Is this okay?
Yeah, lean on a little bit more.
Just talk really loud.
There we go. I'll try. Let's see. I had 4 years of real estate industry experience. I was selling real estate marketing down in the cities. I was the Minnesota rep for a company out of Denver. And we were doing, I'm trying not to use my hands.
That's okay.
So I sold visual marketing, so photos, videos for real estate, those 3D walkthroughs, if you guys have ever seen those sorts of things, and that was really cool. I did that for about 4 years, and I was interested in kind of doing something a little new, and again, similar to Jeremy, these guys called me into their office, and I was trying to sell them, but instead I walk in and they were in their tuxedos, if I remember correctly.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And they spun around in their chairs and looked at me, and I felt wild.
Immediately knew this is what I need to be doing.
Yeah, I was like, man, these guys are having so much fun.
I totally forgot that we did that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Little Step Brothers reference for those that aren't sure what they're talking about.
Yeah. So, the rest is history. Been here for pushing a year now, and it's been awesome. It's been super fun.
So I'll kind of bring up to speed why we changed the name, kind of why we.
Whoa,
had to.
what? What?
Well, for the longest
You're not
time.
the HR team anymore?
Exactly. That was that stint of what?
What?
Al Hoekstra, my business partner, he retired a couple years ago now. It's kind of faded away. And, it actually came down from corporate saying, hey, you can't be using his name because he's not an agent anymore because this could be deceptive to the community. And I thought, really? Anyway, so we had to come up with a team name, and we didn't know what the heck we wanted to do, but we didn't really want to be pigeonholed into one name because Eric so gently put it, says, well, what if Tyler dies? Like, you can't do that. I said, well,
Exact quote.
What if Eric dies? So, and when you try and you do our initials of, Reiss, Welter, and Olsen, you'd be like, Rowo or Uro or anything like that. So just kind of dumb. So we
I think we missed an opportunity there.
The Ric Flair.
How tied are we to Northstar Real Estate Group?
Exactly. But I think Eric wrote down like 60 names or something like that, and we just started naming them off. And
Yeah, I had written down a bunch of them. We tried to go with certain themes, try to make them real estate related. I definitely went down a trail of, American theme, like patriotic theme. And then, we just thought of, well, what makes Minnesota stand out more? What do we like about Minnesota? And it was things like the
hockey.
Hockey. The Northstars stuck out. And then there was some other ones, like we were just thinking of Northwoods up north, Midwest, like just that kind of stuff about Minnesota. And as I was going through the list, I think everybody was kind of like, nah, stupid name. And then wait a second, Northstar. So that one kind of stuck out a little bit of between all of us, but didn't make the decision right away. And we kind of heard it and went, okay, let's wait and see how we feel about this a few weeks from now. And so that was kind of the processes we got going there.
Well, and there's also a lot of overlaps. There's a lot of other companies, or maybe not within real estate, but a lot of other names that were already there that existed here in Minnesota in the cities, and you got to be aware of. Okay, well, when people see Northstar Real Estate Group and they go to Google it, what are they going to find?
Yep. I think everybody. It was that aha moment, just like Eric had mentioned, going through the names, and everybody immediately reacted like, yes, I like that name, which was a great start. But then it came to, how do we want that name to look? And I would say probably as much time as it took to come up with the name, we were going back and forth with several different design concepts on how we want Northstar to be presented and that logo. And we had quite a lot of different ideas, and it transformed many, many times. And there was, I think, 2 other options that we all really, really liked, but there was small little details that we just weren't sure about. And through that process and kind of working with different designs, what we have now came up, and it was, again, one of those aha moments. Like, as soon as everybody saw it, we were like, yes, we like that. And it was kind of for different reasons. But I'm very happy with the way that it turned out and what we landed with. And
awesome, because we have a bunch of T-shirts with it on it already. We got all the signs ordered.
So, there's the choosing the name, there's choosing the logo. But I guess, has rebranding brought up any kind of like, oh, geez, never thought of that, or oh, geez, never thought of that? We know where it's turned into maybe a little more work or a little more, or has it been pretty much what you expected when you change a name of a group of agents trying to?
I think the number one comment I get asked are, you guys still with Edina, or did you start your own? It's like, yes, we are still with Edina. We're still the same group that we have been. We just changed the logo on our T-shirts and business cards.
One of the stories that I thought was most interesting was very good friends of mine. We had our picnic event, our barbecue event a couple weeks, months ago now at this point. And we had sent out the invitations and wrote little things on the back, and they said they got it in the mail, saw Northstar Real Estate Group on that, went, I have no idea who that is. And they went to go throw it away, and then the wife was just like, whoa, wait a second. I think I remember hearing something about that. And so they turned it over, read the bottom, and it goes, and had our names listed on there. And they were just like, oh, that was you guys. And so they almost threw it away, not going through that rebranding process. So it was needing the process, and a big part of the process is needing to let people know what's going on and getting it out on Facebook and everything. So.
Let's talk about Facebook.
I was just going to go there.
Oh my goodness, we had such a great Facebook page and presence. I mean, 3,100 followers on our, Hoekstra and Reiss, Edina Realty, Buffalo, Minnesota area real estate. And you can't just change a Facebook name, which is really, really irritating. He said, it'll take a couple days to approve. And then they just don't ever tell you. And we're like, no. We tried for 2 solid months of submitting every third day. Here, we want this changed, different tips. It was change one word and then kind of do it slowly like that. And I just told the guys, I said, hey, I think we have to start over and just scrap it. We just want to start over. We want to we're diving headfirst with Northstar Real Estate Group. And the morning that we changed it, or made a new page and invited all of our friends, everybody said, hey, we have to make a new page. Get a text from Jeremy, mentoring. He goes, hey, did you see they changed the name of our page? Literally the morning of that. And it was like, oh, great. So we kind of jumped back to the old one, same branding. So that was a kind of a big deal of, it's not easy to shift, and there's a lot of things that you remember of where are all our profiles at online, and you try and get it cohesive all the way across. So, but letting people know of, these are the same people, but it's a different name.
Sure.
And getting that out there.
So I think we've said this a few times now, but for everybody at home, we are still the same group. We are still with Edina Realty. We are just now the Northstar Real Estate Group.
At Edina Realty. And actually, our admin's not here. Amanda, she's back at the office doing all of our paperwork today. So she keeps things rolling behind the scenes. Let's, if you had to give a suggestion to all of our followers or, just
Real estate related?
No, it doesn't have to be. Could be. Doesn't have to be.
Live life and have fun. No.
Pretty good. Belly flops are optional.
Belly flops are always optional, but highly recommended. Make sure you arch your back. I don't know. I mean, real estate related, obviously there's a lot of talk of what's to come, what the future holds. And I think we've touched on this previously, and I'm going to continue to say it. The world's not going to fall apart. It was 3 weeks ago we went to a CE course, and they were specifically talking about the Minnesota market, and they went back to the early 80s. So there was 8 recessions from the early 80s up until now, and they matched the housing market and what it did during each recession. And the biggest takeaway I had from that was the housing market may have plateaued at each of those recessions, but never got weaker. And then outside of the recession,
only 2 of them it got weaker. Was the recession.
Correct, and one of those was caused by the housing market.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we're kind of at that point, and we're kind of seeing that in the market right now. We're hitting that plateau where things are kind of leveling out. Activity is still there because there's a lot of buyer demand, but it's not as rapid fire and kind of the wild west that it was last 18 months. So I'm not getting nervous about that. We're still seeing things move. There's it's a shift, and that happens every 3-4 years. So keep on moving forward. If you're looking for property, have that discussion, and we'll kind of guide you through that. But it's not a bad time to buy or sell. Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Boom.
I didn't think that was that profound of a statement, but it was definitely.
You left us speechless. How about you, Eric? Any message you want to leave with all 250,000 followers of ours?
Wow, that's a big number. Just the comment that we've been getting a lot lately, and I'm going to even reference the same CE course that we all went to. Interest rates historically, right now, I'm just going to round it and say we're sitting at about 5.5%, and it all depends on your credit and everything. But historically, these are still very good interest rates. So if it feels like they're really bad, because it is relative to just a couple months ago, but historically you're still getting a good rate that it's affordable to go buy a house, and affordable is going to be depending on what you expect from your house. But I mean, really, it's not this crazy change from what we've had historically. So that's kind of just one of those things that I've had to continue to remind myself of as well, is that this is not necessarily a terrible time to buy in terms of interest rates. It would be more dependent on your circumstances if you think it's a good or a bad time to buy.
Fantastic.
Tom?
Yeah, kind of along with that, the one question that I get a lot is should we be buying right now, or should we wait for the crash? You know, and I know that we've talked about this quite a bit, and there's an article that we read that was, if you buy right now at, say, a 5.5% interest rate versus 6 months from now after a 10% crash. Now, this is, you know, assuming there would be a 10% crash, which is, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But if you buy right now versus a 10% crash with an increase of an interest rate of 0.5%, bringing it up to about 6%, after 30 years, you're paying the same amount. Now, I know collectively, we don't really think that there's going to be that 10% crash, and likely interest rates might go up by more than 0.5%. You know, so buying right now has, you know, in what we've been talking about, has been kind of the best bet. But it's so hard to guess. I mean, we've had clients for the last 3 years that people have been looking at buying, and now they're looking at homes that are $50,000, $100,000 less than they were last year or 2 years ago, and just because their buying power has gone down. So it's kind of that can't guess what the market's going to do. Got to live your life. Sell that big truck, buy a car, and buy a house.
Yeah, I think that's all great advice, and maybe the best advice, as I'll say, is contact one of us. Go to www.northstar-reg.com. We're going to put that link in the description as well, because real estate is not a one-size-fits-all type of issue at all, and anybody that tells you they know everything and they can guarantee you that is just, I would take that with a grain of salt. But contact somebody. Your specific situation is going to be way different than, you know, the Johnsons down the street or the Smiths. So, but thank you for coming in, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
I think the last time that I was on the Buffalo Community Podcast, I better make sure I get that name correct. We were in a closet somewhere. Like, you guys have stepped up your game, and
yeah, that's right. Yep. The big old studios of BCP.
I was eating Christmas cookies. I don't know about
Yeah,
you guys.
that's right.
so I think I have Luke to thank for that, for really bringing the upgraded professionalism to this organization here.
Yep. Before we wind down, remember that you can always be a part of the Buffalo Community Podcast by calling our Google Voice number at 612-405-7993. You can always give us questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions of what we should talk about next. But for the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reiss.
I'm Mark Benzer.
I'm Jeremy Welter.
I'm Tom Olson.
And I'm Eric Olson.
Thanks for listening to the Buffalo Community Podcast, produced by Edlund Media. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts.